For the artist to be able to work is a blessing, but unfortunately there have been stars who passed away while filming. There is nothing to say but condolences to the stars and their families. Join us in paying tribute to them in today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. 13. Carole Lombard, To Be or Not to Be, 1941. Carole Lombard started a career in silent movies in the early 20s before transitioning to sound features at the turn of the decade. Referred to as among the most commercially successful and admired film personalities in Hollywood in the 1930s by author Robert D. Matson, Lombard enjoyed a fruitful career before her death in 1941 while filming To Be or Not to Be, directed by Ernst Lubitsch, a filmmaker long admired by Lombard. 12. Luke Perry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 2018. Sony Pictures releasing. Luke Perry tragically passed away in March 2018 while filming Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was ongoing. The scenes for his cameo as real-life actor Wayne Maunder were completed prior to his passing, and the film marks Perry's final on-screen performance. The heartthrob Beverly Hills 90210 actor enjoyed success on the big and small screen throughout his career, leaving behind a legacy for years to come. 11. James Dean, Giant, 1956, Warner Brothers. At just 24 years young, James Dean fatally died in a car accident in October 1955 while his final film Giant was finishing filming. Dean left behind a profound legacy as an actor despite only acting in 8 feature films. Giant would go on to win 1 Academy Award while being nominated for 8 others, including a posthumous nomination for Dean. 10. Natalie Wood, Brainstorm, 1983, United Artists. Natalie Wood's acting career spanned 40 years and included hit films such as West Side Story and being part of the ill-fated cast of Rebel Without a Cause. While the circumstances of her death in 1983 still remain a mystery to this day, this tragedy occurred during the production of her final role in the science fiction film Brainstorm. Wood's death nearly tanked the production of the movie, but director Douglas Trumbull fought through completion, even using Wood's younger sister Lana for a few remaining scenes. 9. Heath Ledger was an actor for a new generation, starring in such hit films as 10 Things I Hate About You, Brokeback Mountain, and an Oscar-winning role as the villain of near-perfection Joker in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. Sadly, Ledger passed away in 2008 before the release of the Batman film, and during production of what would become his final on-screen role in the Terry Gilliam-directed The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. In a sign of memory, Ledger's role was completed by 3 fellow actors and good friends, Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell. 8. Brandon Lee, The Crow, 1994, Miramax Films. The tragedy surrounding production of The Crow should have served as a cautionary tale for Hollywood, but unfortunately similar incidents have occurred throughout the years following the death of Brandon Lee at the hands of an unchecked and thought to be prop gun used in the filming, most notably for Alec Baldwin on the set of what was to be his next film, Rust. The film was completed using Lee's stunt double with a mixture of CGI. 7. Bruce Lee, Game of Death, 1978. Warner Brothers. Decades before his son Brandon would pass away while filming a movie, Bruce Lee would meet a similarly tragic fate as he died in what is thought to be an allergic reaction to painkillers. His passing occurred during the production of Game of Death, which had to be spliced together with incomplete footage and stock footage from another Lee movie, Enter the Dragon. 6. Paul Walker, Furious 7, 2015, Universal Pictures. The production of Furious 7 would be placed on a temporary hiatus in the fall of 2013 following the death of one of its stars, Paul Walker. The actor and his friend Roger Rodas were tragically lost when their car slammed into a lamppost and 2 trees before catching fire, killing both men. When killing did resume, Walker's role was completed using a mix of stand-in actors and visual effects shots. 5. Philip Seymour Hoffman, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, 2014. Acclaimed actor Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away in 2014 from a drug overdose while his final film, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, was in production. Having completed nearly all of his scenes, script rewrites were utilized to compensate for the absence of the actor. The film would serve as Hoffman's final on-screen performance. 4. Chris Farley, Shrek, 2001. DreamWorks Pictures. Mike Myers has become synonymous with Shrek, and it is hard to imagine anyone else voicing the ogre other than Myers. Prior to suffering an overdose in 1997, SNL alum Chris Farley had actually recorded nearly all the dialogue for Shrek. Following nearly an entire rewrite of the script, Mike Myers was cast as Farley's replacement, and the rest is history, as the film would go on to produce 3 sequels and 2 spin-offs throughout the years. 3. Vic Morrow as Bill Connor in Twilight Zone, the movie, 1983. This film has the unfortunate distinction of not only being the actor's last, but also the reason for his death. In 1982, veteran actor Vic Morrow, Combat, The Bad News Bears, was filming his part for this anthology film based on the popular TV series. His segment was directed by John Landis, an American werewolf in London, Trading Places, and found Morrow playing a racist man who gets a taste of what it's like to be discriminated against. In a stunt gone wrong, Morrow and 2 child actors were killed by a helicopter during the filming of a scene. This segment would be reworked and released, and Morrow would forever be remembered as a hero. 2. Heather ORourke, Poltergeist III. ORourke died on February 1, 1988 at the Children's Hospital and Health Center in San Diego, California, as the result of an acute bowel obstruction complicated by septic shock. She was 12 years old. According to the New York Times, she had undergone surgery for the obstruction, which was congenital, after an emergency flight to the hospital from another hospital in the area. Although ORourke had finished shooting principal photography for Poltergeist III, the film was still in post-production at the time of her death. According to Screen Rant, director Gary Sherman was informed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, the studio, that they were contractually obligated to finish the film. Sherman and crew members fought against having to continue filming without ORourke. Sherman expressed that it felt disrespectful toward her family in her recent passing. Regardless, MGM insisted that they cast a body double. Due to their contract, Sherman had no choice but to oblige. A body double was hired, the film wrapped, and a card at the end of the credits dedicated the film to ORourke. 1. River Phoenix, Dark Blood. Phoenix died on October 31, 1993, from acute multiple drug intoxication involving lethal levels of cocaine and morphine outside the Viper Room nightclub in West Hollywood, California. He was 23 years old. According to Variety, Phoenix had approximately a month of filming left to go on Dark Blood at the time of his death. Upon completing that film, he was scheduled to play the reporter in Interview with the Vampire. That role, of course, ended up being played by Christian Slater. After a long battle surrounded by controversy, director George Sluizer said he had received a letter from Phoenix's mother asking him to abandon the project. Dark Blood was eventually completed and released in 2012.